How you doing? My name is Jay. I'm going to sway away from the relationship video for right now because it's Black History Month. So I thought I'd just start doing videos to help our people be aware of some things that I don't even think they know that is going on. Things that are being made against us, laws that are being made to keep us down, along with the systemic racism and stuff that's going on. So I just felt as though, since it's Black History Month, I'll do some videos to kind of help our people with certain things. After the intro, we'll come back and I will explain the first video I'm gonna do.
Gotta scat and get mine underlined.
Many styles, as I combine on the truth from the mind. Heal up, wheel up, bring it back, come rewind.
Gotta scat and get mine underlined.
Many styles.
You want the monster? Oh, he's got one. I just want to kill you.
Hi, like I said, my name is Jay, and like I said, I'm going to do some videos to kind of help our people with some of the things that that I think they don't understand that is what's truly happening. Reason why we are constantly being put behind the 8 ball, behind everybody else. The first thing I want to say, and I'm going to say this once so that I don't have to say it anymore, I'm going to use the word majority. And majority, as we all know, is the term that white people have used to describe them as opposed to everybody else, okay? They consider themselves the majority. Every other race behind them is considered the minority. Doesn't make a difference if you're Asian, Latino, East Indian, Native American, whatever else. Every other race outside of Caucasian is considered minority. So when I'm doing the videos from this point on, I'm gonna just use the word majority. You'll know who I'm talking about. I just don't want to keep getting flagged by keep saying who they are. So I'm gonna just use that term majority from this point on, and you'll know who I'm talking about. This topic that I'm going to talk about is the problem that has stemmed with our children and how they've gotten out of control and the reasons why they've gotten out of control. I remember back in the day, older, even people in their 40s can remember that if you had did something wrong or you did something bad, your dad, your mom, grandparents, older brothers, sisters would beat your ass. Or they'd be like, wait till your disciplinary parent come home. Like, if it was your mom, wait till your mom get home. Or if your dad, wait till your dad get home. Or whatever the case may be. Now, some houses even, the parents even allowed your grandmothers to beat your butt. Grandmothers, older brothers and sisters, they even allowed other elders in the area to beat your butt if you did something towards the elder, okay? And then when they got home, they would beat you again. If you look at it, and if you look back through our history, the one thing that we had that was different from every other race out there is that our children had discipline and that our children had respect for our elders. Now, as you got into your teens, kids got away from their parents. They started doing their thing or whatever. But if your parents' bond or your parents' fear was that strong, you would still in the back of your head say, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna do that shit because I don't want my, dad to find out. I don't want my mom to find out. They're going to kill me. You know what I'm saying? So what the majority did was the majority sat back and took a long time to figure this out and tried to figure out what it was that separated us and our children from them and their children. Because if you look at their children, you have a lot of serial killers, serial rapers, you got streakers, you got cannibalists, you got child pornography, you got a lot of heinous crime, mass shootings, postal employees, going postal. And a lot of that come from the majority. Normally, we weren't in the middle of all that. You know what I'm saying? We would be the ones on the back end saying, well, damn, I wonder what the heck was going on in their life or whatever the case may be. But because of the discipline that was given to us by our parents, we was never the ones that was contributing in that. But then the majority in government found a way to change that. So what they did was, in the 90s, they made a law that said that you could no longer hit your child, and if you did, you would get arrested. A lot of parents was like, look, you're not going to tell me how I'm going to raise my children, and they were doing it anyway. Now, the kids who understood that called did get their parents arrested, and the fear started to set in. So now you got people who were afraid to call and afraid to do anything because they didn't want their children to call the police on them. So they didn't do anything about that. So eventually what happened was parents started not doing anything to their children. The children ran them up, got wild, and now you got kids that are out there disrespecting everybody. They're disrespecting their own parents. They're disrespecting their own families. They're disrespecting grandparents. They're disrespecting anyone on the street. They really don't care, because the separation between us and them is that they always put their kids in timeout. They always put their kids in timeout or constantly threaten their children. Or they would take away things that mattered to them. You know what I'm saying? But it didn't solve the problem. It just made the problem worse. With us, we were not doing that, so we didn't go through that. So what ended up happening was, by them taking away the one thing that kept our children in line, now you got children that are running around doing all kinds of things, and nothing as bad as what their kids is doing, but our kids are now getting into robberies. They're getting into shootings. They're getting into things that they weren't into as bad, and now they can be projected as this unruly set of generation. Because now, if you don't hear anything that's going on bad, and in every other county, you only hear what's going on in Philadelphia County, because Philadelphia County, it seems to have the discipline is needed the most. Camden County, you got those kids in that area where the parents needed the discipline the most. You got Wilmington, same thing. That's the tri-state area out here. Then you got kids in other cities and other states. The dynamic was different, and now they're all out of control, because now you can't discipline your kids. If you try to do anything to your kids could call the police and have you arrested. Now, I remember back in the day when they first made this law, parents used to be like, well, if you can make it to the phone, make your phone call, but you gotta make it to the phone. So what kids would do was, they wouldn't go to the phone in the house. They wait, get to school, talk to the counselor. The counselor would make the call. Then the next thing you know, police knocking on your door. Or they go to church, talk to the pastor make the call. They'll go to somebody else have the other person make the call for them. So they would never make the call, because they didn't want to deal with the aftermath if they was found out. So now we have generations of kids that are coming up now that have no discipline. You can't really do anything to them. Time and time again, facts have proven that timeouts and stuff like that don't work. It doesn't work because it never worked for them. How could you have Ted Bundys and Ramirez as Mansons and all those serial killers and stuff like that? How can you have all those people if timeouts and taking away their toys and stuff really work? You understand what I'm saying? So we're going to have to go back to the old school, but we're going to have to go back to the old school underground. We're not going to be able to let everybody know what we're doing. We have to, as a people, go back to the old school underground. And that's the only way that we're going to be able to get our kids back. We're going to have to go back to the old school underground. Tell them, if you can make it to that phone, make that call. They still got to get to that phone though. Go back to the old school underground and let's get our children back. And let's get our children back to having discipline again, so that we can stop looking like the stereotypical niggas that they want us to look like in the news. Because every time you look at the news and there's a black person that robbed somebody, that killed somebody, shot somebody, or raped somebody, did something bad to somebody, to other countries, we look like the stereotypical niggas to them. We need to stop looking like that to other countries, because when those people come over here, they instantly treat us like the bad guy, because the only thing that they're seeing about us in those other countries is the stereotypical stuff that the news media shows them. So we need to get our discipline back. In order to get our discipline back, we're going to have to go back underground and go back to discipline underground. So I hope that helps some people out there open their eyes and realize what's going on. The next thing I'm going to do, or the next video I'm going to do, is about the credit system and how the credit system is being used against us. That's a very good video that's going to come up, and it really sheds some light to a lot of people on why you can't get a car, you can't get a house, or why it costs you more to get those things. So until then, stay safe. Don't go out if you don't need to. And I will see y'all in the next video.